Welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web with your adventurous guide to the good times, Charlotte Tweed. Each week, Charlotte takes you on the journey of a lifetime to a delightful Caribbean locale where the sun never sets on your good life at a great price. And now with her muy amigo, Carib Carter, here's your host, Charlotte Tweed. Hello. It's Carib Carter, and welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web. Charlotte, as you know, is in Mexico, and she has been taking Spanish. So, buenos dias, Charlotte. ¿Qué tal?
Taking Spanish, yes. We went to our first conversational Spanish class last night. We are working at immersing. Hola. Oh. You want to say hello?
Yes, who are we talking to here? Very nice, a
This
guest.
is our housekeeper. Did you want to come say hello, Maria?
Say hello. Here we go. We love to have guests.
There she is. Hola.
Buenos dias.
Buenos
¿Cómo
días.
está?
Muy bien. ¿Usted?
Está bien. Muchas gracias.
Bueno.
My husband's inside. Did you want to talk to him?
How are you? Okay, no problem.
Okay. Come back in half hour?
Okay.
Sorry, Carter.
It's all right. No, we like this. This is real life.
This is real life.
This is real life. We like this slice of life. Little slice of life here, folks. This is how you do business when you're in Mexico. Notice how easy it is, how pleasant it is. Lovely muchacha right there, chica. Or as Jill Biden would call her, a taco.
I think that'll be
It's
okay.
strange,
Sure.
you know?
Sure, that's fine.
But no, this is a slice of life here. Here we go.
No
With the
problem.
housekeeper,
No problem.
who,
10
by the
o'clock.
way, cost
Thank you, Maria.
next to nothing.
Gracias. Okay.
Next to nothing. Okay, excellent. Charlotte is back, having finished dealing with the housekeeper.
Yes.
Excellent.
She
was
had a
just saying,
conflict in her schedule. So,
her schedule.
yes.
I was just telling the folks there that this is what in Spanish we call a chica or muchacha, or as Joe Biden would say, a taco.
I've been seeing that. Yes, I have been seeing that.
My wife, who folks, as you know, is Honduran, was just outraged. just like, what? Por qué? I said, Amor, it wasn't me.
A very strange thing to say.
Very strange. So
Very strange.
So,
Okay.
So you've negotiated there with the housekeeper.
See,
who cost very little, I believe. Is that correct?
that's right. It's 250 peso a week, which works out to, between $12 and $15 for 2.5 to 3 hours of cleaning.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And when did you start the Spanish lessons, and how are they going?
We just started. We went to our first one last night. We're getting, settling in, getting immersed in the community. And we were at the Wednesday market last week, and there was some there handing out cards. She said, "Do you speak Spanish?" And we're like, poco. So she said, "I'm doing free classes, conversational Spanish classes for all levels on Wednesday evenings at the Peacock Garden Restaurant at 5:00. So we
Excellent.
said, perfect. We'll go check it out. A little bit of anxiety because, our Spanish is very minimal. But we went and discovered, Carter, that we need to go to Spanish classes for 4-year-olds.
Very good. Very good. You have to start somewhere.
It was way over our head. I'm like, I cannot understand a word that you're saying. We have a few phrases memorized and down about, eating and shopping and that type of thing.
Donde está baño?
See?
Very important phrase. Where's the bathroom?
Very important phrase.
There we go.
But conversational, we aren't there yet. So we need flashcards or the See Jane Run version in Spanish.
Very good. Very
yes.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. I think you will pick it up very quickly because for one thing, there are a lot of words that are similar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And another is it's totally phonetic. Unlike English, it is, you don't have words that look like they're spelled the same and pronounced different. It's a phonetic language, so it's easier to learn than English. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. And
Thank
that's
God.
the person that was there teaching. That's what she said too. She's a certified translator, so she's fluent in English and Spanish. So we talked a little bit about that, what it was like learning English for her to learn English. You know, the word no, K-N-O-W. What? She's, how does
Yeah.
that work? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was interesting. We're going to learn a little bit more on our own. There was a gentleman there from Edmonton, a Canadian, and he said the best thing for you to do is to start by learning the verbs. Learn verbs.
Yes.
Learn all the verbs. So we're going to do a little more practice ourselves at home, learn a few more words, and then go back to the conversational Spanish classes. She said, I'll be here every Wednesday at 5:00, and they were there for an hour, and and meet some more people and learn how to talk.
Excellent. Well, you're going to go from, I can tell you, because, I've had to learn to speak Spanish with my wife. You're going to go from English to Spanglish, then finally to Spanish. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I've taught the first thing I taught my wife to say, I said, you're going to need this when you don't understand something. I said, just watch Ricky Ricardo and learn to say, hey, you got some splaining to do. And she's got that perfectly.
Oh, wow.
You got some splaining to do. But her English actually is very good now. But but it's tough.
It
And
takes practice, and you really have to immerse yourself in it and hear it. We just feel we need to learn a few more words. Like we were totally lost. We were both I don't know, but all was not lost. We stayed at the restaurant and had a lovely dinner. It's a really neat place, really good food. I had shrimp kebabs and came with rice and bread and of course the salsas. And it's called the Peacock Garden. So there are actually peacocks walking around in the garden. There was 4 of them, 4 beautiful peacocks. And it's a huge area. Your tables, you're far away from people. You don't hear any other conversations. It's a great place to go if you want to go somewhere for a nice little private dinner, right in the heart of Ajijic.
And this is where the Spanish lessons were.
Yeah, they had a little building, kind of almost like a little conference building on the side as well, and that's where she was set up giving her lessons.
Well, my wife has learned English so well. The other day I was putting on my clothes and put on a pair of pants she didn't like, and she said, Amor, no. And I said, Rachel, I'm 76 years old. What do you mean, no? And she said, I mean, not yes. Okay. So yeah, she is mastering English very well.
Very well.
Yes. So you will have that kind of grasp very soon of Spanish. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more of a language. So
now the housekeeper there, she spoke English, right?
Yes, she speaks very good English.
Wow. Well, that's good. She can help.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very good. Yeah.
Hang out with her a little bit maybe and get her to give us some pointers.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. I got a note the other day from somebody wanted to know, well, what is Charlotte's background? I mean, they knew you were Canadian, okay, mm-hmm. But they said, where does she come from? Everybody likes to get to know everyone else. So let's go back in time. This is your life. Where did you come from, and how did you end up being the kind of incredible entrepreneur and explorer that you are?
Well, I'll try and keep it within time. Carter, I did write a book. Actually, I published a book on how I got to where we are now. But we'll go back on that. I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. So I'm a farm girl at heart. I like my space. That's why I don't gravitate towards big cities. I love to visit them. I do not like to live in them.
Okay.
So grew up on a farm, always dreamt about travel. Would read the old encyclopedias. They used to have the set of encyclopedias. I think ours were called the Book of Knowledge. They were white with the blue, big knowledge tree on the front.
Absolutely.
Yes. Look through pictures of those all the time and all these amazing places around the world that I wanted to go and see. But being on a farm, farmers don't travel. You have too much responsibility with your animals and with the crops. You just don't travel that often. My grandfather was in British Columbia, which was from there. I don't know what it is in miles, but it would have been probably about 1,200 kilometers away from us. So we would go
Right.
visit him like every other year. That was the extent of my travel. I didn't leave Canada. Oh, I did leave Canada once when I was, I think, 5 years old, back in the day when you didn't need passports to cross into the United States of America. You could just drive. And
Right.
then didn't leave Canada again until I would have been in my probably early 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But when you left the farm, what kind of work did you do when you left the farm? Did you decide I'm going to be an office worker or a writer, or because you're an outstanding writer?
Well,
Folks,
thank you.
make sure to subscribe to Insiders Magazine because Charlotte writes in it, and she is an outstanding, excellent writer. Just wonderful to read. So, did you start writing right away, or?
No, I didn't. I always loved writing. I liked writing poetry and I liked writing essays. Believe it or not, how many people and high school students like writing essays? Not many, but I did. And I didn't go to school right away. When I left the farm and, graduated high school, went into retail. Kind of was going to take the infamous year off before going back to school, right?
Right.
And then I actually was going to be an architect. Got accepted
Wow.
into school, but met my wonderful husband and things changed again. Things always change. Life events make things change.
Yeah.
Worked in retail for about 5 years. And then I ended up working in administration in education. So I was in the education world for about another 5 years doing reception. And we moved 700 kilometers away from home. An opportunity came up for us to move to Alberta. So we moved to Alberta, picked up the family and left, my husband and I, and our son and our Great Dane at the time.
You're a Great Dane. Very
Great
nice.
Dane at the time. Yeah, Great Dane at the
Yes.
time. And I actually worked in healthcare for 10 years, healthcare administration. So started out working in corporate office, then went to hospital security, occupational health and safety, and then human resources.
Very
And
good.
yeah, and due to a turn of events, I ended up losing my job. We, the government, and this is, I think, where I became disillusioned with government.
Yes, thank God. Yeah.
Was working with them for so long and seeing the incredible waste that goes into healthcare. Ended up losing my job because they amalgamated all the health regions, so they didn't need our positions anymore. So that's when I went, okay, you know what? I've been sitting in a cubicle now and at a desk for 20 years. I do not want to do it anymore. What do I love to do? And what could I do all day? And travel was something that I love to do. And
Great.
that's how I ended up getting into the travel industry, losing my job and going, no, you know what? I'm not doing that. Went back to school as an adult student to get my diploma in travel and tourism. And that was a lot of fun, actually going back to school in my 40s. The first semester was the best. We had so much fun. There was a group of us that really got along well together, and I wasn't the only old person in the class. There was
Right.
somebody older than me and another one who was, she was 35, and then another one who was late 20s, and we got along fantastically and had a blast. Had the college life, I guess I passed up on. So, well, not the parties though. I wasn't into the partying part of it, but it was a lot of fun. Graduated with that, and I wanted my own travel business somehow. I didn't really want to be a travel agent. I knew I didn't want to sit behind a desk. I wanted to have my own business from home, and I thought, what can I do? And while I was back in school is where I rediscovered my love for writing.
Excellent.
Because our teacher encouraged us, our instructors, get someone else to read your assignments, look over them before you hand them in. So I ended up being the class editor. So people were always giving their assignments to me, can you read my stuff? And I'm like, I love to write. And I was writing comments on something once, and someone said, yeah, that's Charlotte. That's what she does. She writes. And I'm, you know what? I could be a travel writer. That's what I want to do. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. So then when I graduated in 2018, my husband quit his job. He was offered a job that was promised much and went nowhere as well, and he just had enough too. So we went on long-term travel. We left Canada and for close to 6 months, and we went. I always bring up Texas. Everybody thinks how Texas falls in, but we love Texas. Anybody who knows us knows we love there. Went to Texas for a month, and then flew back to Canada for convocation, which was in June. And then the night of convocation, we flew to Egypt. So we spent 10 days in Egypt. And then from Egypt, we went to Jordan, spent a week in Jordan. From Jordan, we went to Italy and leased a car and drove up to Amsterdam through Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
now, how long were you in Egypt and Jordan?
Egypt was 10 days and Jordan was a week. And then it was close to 4 months. Well, all total, because you can only be in the Schengen zone for like 90 days. So
Right.
that we spent the rest of the time in Europe. Yeah. So that completely changed our lives, changed our whole view of what living can be like, because when you're at a destination that long, so you're in Italy for a month and you're driving a car and you're going through all the little towns and staying places, you realize there's a different way to live.
Yes. Yes.
And we would go to grocery stores and go, it was so incredibly cheap. Like Germany was, the only thing that was really expensive was fuel for the car, for the vehicle. That was
Right.
expensive.
Right.
But food, and like in Germany, especially the food, a loaf of bread was €0.50 for a loaf of bread. It's like, how is this possible? And you just, you see how other people live and realize maybe we really don't want to live in Canada anymore. There's a bigger world out there. And when we ended going back to Canada, we weren't excited to go back. And it was actually the first time that we kind of got a little snippy with each other. Was when we were back in Canada. Clearly, we did not want to be there, but we weren't sure yet where we wanted to live. So we rented a place and kind of, like I said, it's a long story. Buy my travel memoir and you can read my travel memoir. I wrote all about it in the travel memoir. Went through all our stuff and just got ready for when we were going to leave again, because we knew we were going to leave again to find another place to live. So
yes, out of Canada.
Yes.
You had decided at that point, we want to live in another country. We want some variety. And is that when you started moving towards Central America, toward Nicaragua and is that when you made the move there?
The next year we actually went to Texas again for 4 months and then went back to Canada again. It's a long story, but after doing that, that's when I started really doing my research and becoming an expat in different countries.
Yes.
And, bought a book called The Better Life for Half the Price by Tim Leffel. And actually, it was a fantastic book. And
it's a better life at half the price.
A Better Life for Half the Price by Tim Leffel.
Okay, good. Folks, pick it up. You get
and
the
he's got a second
here.
edition.
Good.
Yeah, he's got a second edition now.
Good.
And because we've traveled extensively across Europe, love Europe, but had not been to Central America or South America. So we needed to learn a little bit more about it. And when we discovered the price of living, the cost of living in Central America and South America and Mexico, we need to start exploring these countries a little bit. And before we decide we're going to move, we need to go see some of these places.
Right.
So when we really got serious about it was really probably just before COVID hit.
When what?
Just before COVID hit is when we really got serious about leaving.
Very good. Very good. I know a question that is in the back of everyone's mind right now, and you went over it very quickly, but where is this son all this time? Is he being tagged along with the luggage or what?
No, when we first left, he would have been, was he 20, 21? So he's grown up.
Oh, okay.
And he's grown up, and he got a job at a Bible camp and over the summer. So with that, you're housed, you're fed, you're watered. So when we left the first time on our long-term travel to go over to Europe, he was taken care of.
Excellent. Very,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
so
when we came back from that, he told us, he's going to be moving. So he moved to British Columbia.
oh, that's where he is now, British
That's where he
Columbia.
is now. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, when we met, you were in Nicaragua, and by that time, you were with ECI, I believe. Is that correct?
Escape artist. Yeah.
Escape artist.
Yep.
Yes. Good. Good.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I started with Escape Artist, ironically, July 1st. So July 1st was my 1 year anniversary. And I find that ironic because July 1st is also Canada's birthday, like Canada's Independence Day. And that's
Very
when I said
good.
bye. So that's when I started working with Escape Artist. It happened all so close. It's when everything falls into place, you're doing something right. Because I was
Yes.
looking at, before our number one thing before we decided to leave again was we have to have income coming in. So I was looking for a paid writing position or paid freelance work or that type of thing. And I saw that Escape Artist was looking for someone and applied for that and got that job. And I said, okay, now we can go. So,
Well, it's a godsend. I mean, for me, it's a godsend because I get to know you. I mean, I really mean that. It's just delightful. And you've done an incredible job with Escape Artist, folks.
thank you.
Escapeartist.com. It's a great, great organization. Thanks to Charlotte. It's a great website. The magazine is the best international magazine in the world, Insiders Magazine. And
I think so.
it is. You do a wonderful job. And the most recent edition was on freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was excellent, by the way. I read
Thank
it.
you.
Excellent. I thought that Clews guy's article was just stunning.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
and next month, the August edition is about what?
It's your Plan B roadmap. So
Excellent.
I'll be writing more really what we did. My article will cover what we did to prepare before we left. So I think that's what I'm going to cover in mine. And for the other writers too, setting up how to get your Plan B put together. So we're hoping to put a roadmap together for people because those are a lot of the questions I get is just even where do I start? Because there's so much information that it's overwhelming to even know where to get started.
Yeah. And I get my email box every day has hundreds of emails from people wanting to know, how do I make my move? How do I prepare? Where would you suggest? And I know you get the exact same thing. So that's a great, folks, go subscribe now so you get that August issue so it can lay out for you how to do. Look, folks, think about it. A year ago, a guy named Crane or whatever, Biden's top aide, said a year ago, well, in 2022, we'll have probably 2.2% inflation. They announced it yesterday at 9.1%, and it's going to get worse. You got to escape. You got to escape.
And it's the same in Canada. We've talked about inflation is terrible up there right now as well.
It's horrible. So what would you say in closing? What would you say to people? You stepped out. You and Daryl, your husband, stepped out, and you said, first of all, we're going to travel. We're going to look around. We're going to get a feel for the rest of the world. Then you said, we're going to make our move. What would you say to people who are having trouble getting the gumption to go ahead and step out and make their move? What would you say? What's your advice?
Well, sometimes a really bad thing has to happen for a person to make that change. It's like ultimately, I think my catalyst was losing my job.
There you go.
That was like 2014. It takes time. So you do need some patience, but times are changing a lot faster now than what they were. They're not what they were in 2014. That's for sure.
No.
So for me, if I were still in Canada right now and I was paying what they're paying for gas and I was paying $30 for a steak, it would be, I cannot afford to live here. And I think you need to hit that reality that What is your life going to be like if you stay in the country where you are right now?
Well said. Well
Right?
said.
Are you
Yeah.
going to be able to afford groceries? Or what are you going to have to give up in order to keep something else? Are you going to give up chicken for bologna? Are you going to not get groceries that day? You know, it's a
Yeah.
scary reality, and I think that's the reality people are going to need. That's the bad news. That's the bad thing. That's going to change people.
It's great. And the fact of the matter is, you know what? You grow through adversity. We all
Yes, you
do.
do.
We grow
Yeah.
through adversity. Yeah.
You may
That's
not see it
great.
at the time, but when you look back, you will. And
Yeah.
on that price or point of price, can we do another little guess the price?
Oh, guess the price. Let's play guess the price of
Okay.
a home or an apartment. Here we go.
Yes, because I found this came across yesterday. Once you get to a place where you like and you start meeting people, you make connections and get on different groups, like different Facebook groups, different Telegram groups. So there's rentals and that type of thing that come up that you wouldn't see when you're back home.
Right.
You need the boots on the ground. I don't know if we can see these pictures, if they'll come up.
Oh,
Okay,
nice. Good.
so that's
Oh,
what it
yeah, we
looks
can
like.
see it. Very
Okay.
pretty. I like that.
Yep. I'll
Yeah.
read the description. It's short. Hi there. I've got a 1-bedroom, completely independent apartment in central Chapala for rent. 13.5K peso. Oh, see if you can do the conversion. All utilities included: high-speed internet, AC and heat, which I'm surprised there's heat, electric and gas, second floor, keypad entry, full-size laundry machines just for that unit, spiral staircase up to a private mirror door with views of the church and lake, about a block from the lake and close to all shopping and restaurants. Professionally managed. DM me anytime, thank you. So for
Very
that
nice.
1-bedroom apartment, what do you think that is with everything included? Even heat.
Everything
I was
included.
surprised to see heat.
I'm going to say 1 bedroom apartment close to the lake. So it's in a very nice area, very pretty. I'm going to say $950 a month.
675 USD is the conversion.
It's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Everything.
Everything. And that includes utilities.
All utilities included. High-speed internet, AC and heat. And that's unusual to have AC and heat included in utilities. Usually if you have AC, it's not included because it becomes more expensive. Yeah, electric and gas.
Incredible. So the utilities would be for most Americans another on an apartment that size in the US today. I'm telling you, the utilities would be another 200 a month, 150, 200 a month right there. Internet would be 150. So there you're another 350. So plus here in the US that would cost at least $1,000. So it's half the price. It's half
Yeah.
the price you would pay where I am in the US. And it ain't as nice as where you are. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised the AC and heat, because you don't need heat even in the winter. I mean, yeah, it gets cool. Just put a comforter on your bed. But it comes back to, do you want a life like this where you're in a tropical surrounding? It's beautiful all year round. You can go to the market and get your grocery stores or get your groceries, pay $20 for fresh produce and fruit for the week? Or do you want to give everything up
Everything.
so
Literally
that you
everything.
can pay for
Yeah.
that electric bill?
And just
Like,
live a damn miserable life. I mean, you remember Thoreau said most people lead lives of quiet desperation. And that's where we are now in the US and in Canada.
Mhm.
But it's not where you are there and whoever gets that apartment. So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad I lost on that one. I'm glad I named the wrong price. That's excellent.
It's like I said, it's pain. Pain is what's going to make people change.
Yeah.
Comfort
That's
makes
exactly
you
right.
stay in a rut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid pain, pursue pleasure, folks. And that is the pleasure. So thank you once again, Charlotte. It's been perfect. And thank you for sharing your background with us.
You're welcome.
It's inspiring. So, folks, there you go. Now you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do to live that kind of life. Go down and get the apartments you just mentioned. Okay. That's great for 2 people. So As I tell you every time we talk, come on, let's do this thing. There we go.